the U.S.-India trade deal, who wins and who loses. In today's world, the future of global trade hinges on the delicate balance between the world's largest economies. The U.S. and India, two powerhouses with divergent interests, yet bound by a growing economic relationship. But are these trade negotiations truly beneficial for both sides, or is this just another exercise in Trump's America First policies? In this video, we'll break down the key issues, the expectations from both sides, and why the stakes are higher than ever. What does the U.S. want from India? The United States has clear objectives when it comes to its trade relationship with India. In essence, it's about opening new markets, expanding defense ties, and ensuring that America remains the dominant economic player on the global stage. So, what does the U.S. want? 1. Market access for U.S. goods. The U.S. is eager to sell more of its agricultural products, such as poultry, dairy, and meat. They see India's vast consumer market as an untapped opportunity. However, India has high tariffs on these products, and the Trump administration has demanded that these barriers be reduced. 2. Technology exports. Semiconductors, cloud computing, and medical devices are at the top of the U.S. wish list. The U.S. is pushing for greater access to India's tech sector, including artificial intelligence and cybersecurity partnerships. 3. Defense sales and strategic alliances. With China's rise as a global power, the U.S. sees India as a key partner in the Indo-Pacific region. The U.S. aims to increase its defense sales to India, think aircraft, helicopters, and missile defense systems. This strategic military collaboration is central to the broader geopolitical calculations. 4th, trade imbalance. The U.S. also wants to reduce its trade deficit with India, which remains a sticking point in bilateral negotiations. Washington expects India to open its markets and reduce tariffs, especially in sectors like automobiles and steel. Ultimately, for the U.S., it's about economic leverage, ensuring that America's dominance in global trade is solidified by ensuring access to one of the world's most dynamic emerging markets. India's expectations and concerns. India, on the other hand, has its own priorities and concerns when it comes to trade negotiations with the U.S. protecting domestic farmers. India is reluctant to open up its agricultural markets to the U.S., particularly regarding poultry and dairy. Lower tariffs could hurt small farmers, and India's government wants to protect food security, which remains a top priority. Non-GMO stance. India has a strong preference for organic farming and non-genetically modified crops. The U.S. has pushed for more acceptance of GM crops, especially soybeans and corn, but India remains wary of the environmental and health risks posed by GMOs. Defense and technology deals. While India sees value in U.S. defense technology and investment, it remains cautious. India wants to retain its strategic autonomy and not become overly dependent on U.S. military supplies, which could affect its relations with other countries, especially Russia. WTO and domestic subsidies. The WTO has raised concerns about India's agricultural subsidies, which the U.S. argues violate trade rules. India, however, maintains that these subsidies are essential for protecting its millions of farmers. For India, sovereignty and domestic welfare come first. The government faces a difficult balancing act, trying to satisfy the economic demands of the U.S. without undermining the interests of its farmers and consumers. Trump's America First approach. Is it realistic? Now, let's take a step back and look at how Trump's approach fits into this complex puzzle. Throughout his presidency, Donald Trump's trade philosophy was simple: America First. He believed that any deal should directly benefit the U.S. economy, and if that meant pressuring allies like India with harsh tariffs, so be it. But how realistic is this approach? Tariffs and the global order. Trump's use of 25% tariffs on various goods, including steel and aluminum, disrupted traditional trade relationships. His harsh measures with China and India seemed like a game of economic chicken. But, in the process, did he risk destabilizing the global order and creating long-term resentment from economic powers? Pakistan, it seems, has sold a dream to Donald Trump. Earlier, the U.S. president said he had signed a deal with Islamabad to develop massive oil reserves. But what does the data reveal about its oil reserves and its potential? I think they may have some illusions about finding oil in Pakistan. And I wish them luck, said Congress MP Shashi Tharoor. Pakistan's petrol prices have risen to a staggering 264.6 rupees per liter. Now, with India, a much larger and more strategic player, the stakes are higher. Trump's approach of unilateral threats seems to be pushing India away rather than bringing it closer. Russia's role. Trump has made repeated favorable remarks about Russia, including the former administration's view of Russia. India. Ties. Trump's rhetoric about India being a dead economy compared to Russia's economic potential only adds to the uncertainty of his policies. Is he trying to align more with Russia against India's rise as a global economic power? Trump's trade policies seem to miss a crucial point. Trade is not just about imposing terms, but about creating mutually beneficial agreements. When it comes to India, his approach has often been more about coercion than collaboration. Trump's policies and their impact on global trade. Trump's hardball tactics are not just about U.S. India relations, they have global ramifications. The world is watching how the U.S. interacts with India, an emerging power in Asia. What can we expect? Shifting alliances. As the U.S. places pressure on India, countries like China, Russia, and even the EU are capitalizing on the opportunity to form stronger trade and defense alliances with India. Russia remains a critical defense partner for India, and while the U.S. pushes for higher defense exports, Russia continues to be an important supplier of military equipment. The changing nature of global trade. Trump's approach has shifted global trade dynamics, and many countries are rethinking their own economic alliances. India, especially, is diversifying its trade relationships, aiming to reduce dependence on any single partner. Impact on global supply chains. With rising protectionism, global supply chains are becoming more fragmented. India, positioned as the world's factory in areas like pharmaceuticals and textiles, could see its role evolve as it navigates the U.S. trade pressures. What's next for U.S.-India relations? As we move forward, the question remains, can the U.S. and India find common ground in this economic chess game? Or will Trump's approach undermine long-term cooperation? India, as a rapidly growing market, has the potential to be a key partner in the global economic future. But India's resistance to coercive trade tactics signals that future negotiations may need to be more nuanced. Trump's America First policy may have worked with countries like Pakistan, but with India, it's a whole new ball game, and the stakes are far higher. Your subscription makes me more